You don't need to ask her about her past. You don't need to interrogate her or dig through her stories, because here's the truth. She's already told you everything, in her movements, in her silences, in the little patterns she doesn't even know she's repeating. Most men miss it. They take her words at face value. They believe the version of herself she wants them to see. But if you look closer, if you read between her gestures, her tone, her habits, you'll see the woman she really is, and the life she's lived before you. This is how you discover her past, without asking a single question. 1. She will fidget, touch, and adjust herself when her past is haunting her. You don't need to ask a woman about her past. Her body will tell you everything. Watch her when the conversation shifts to something personal. She'll start adjusting herself, fixing her hair, fidgeting with her jewelry, pulling at her sleeves, playing with her phone even when there's no notification. These are self-soothing gestures, and they're never random. Why does this matter? Because the body reacts before the mind can hide. If her past is heavy, a bad breakup, trauma, or regrets, these small movements are her shield. Her subconscious is screaming, "Change the subject. Get out of this moment." But since she can't say that directly, her body does the talking. This is where most men fail. They don't notice. They take her words at face value. "I'm fine. It's nothing. That's not important." But those words are often a cover. What matters is what her body does as she says them. Her posture gives her away. Does she cross her arms tightly, lean back as if retreating, tap her feet like she's trying to run from the conversation without leaving? These micro-movements are windows into discomfort, discomfort born from something in her past. And here's where it gets powerful. When you can read this, you don't need to interrogate. You don't need to ask, "What happened to you?" You simply know. Something in this subject is tied to her story. And that's where the Stoic approach comes in. You don't press, you don't exploit, you observe. You give her the safety to reveal herself on her own terms. Because the goal isn't to dig for gossip, it's to understand who she really is beneath the mask. A woman's past isn't written in her words. It's written in her reactions. The man who can see this, he sees the truth before it's ever spoken. 2. She will casually talk about other people, but she's really talking about herself. Listen carefully, because women confess in code. When she talks about a friend, an ex, or "this girl I know," she's not just telling a random story, she's projecting. If she casually mentions how a friend dated someone toxic for years, or how this girl was cheated on, or how some people are crazy in relationships, there's a high chance she's talking about herself. Why? Because it's safer. Talking about others creates emotional distance. It lets her share pieces of her story without exposing herself. It's like leaving breadcrumbs, and she's watching to see if you pick them up. This is where you need to listen between the lines. Does she bring up cheating often? That's not random. It could mean she's been cheated on or done the cheating. Does she talk about friends who can't commit? That may be her way of confessing her own fear of commitment. The details matter. The emotion in her tone matters even more. If she sounds passionate, angry, or hurt while talking about someone else's experience, she's reliving her own. And here's the trap. Most men think these are just casual stories. They nod along, laugh, and miss the deeper message. But the man who catches it, he learns her without her even realizing she's revealing herself. You don't have to pry. You don't have to dig. You just listen. And slowly, you start connecting the dots, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the fears that shaped her. This is how you discover her past without asking, because she's already told you, just not directly. Real quick, before we go deeper, I've got something powerful for you. It's a free ebook called The Attraction Handbook. Inside, you'll learn how to make her crave you using just a few psychological moves. It's free for now, so grab it in the description or the pinned comment below. 3. She will go quiet or change the subject when you're getting too close to the truth. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. When a woman suddenly goes quiet, changes the subject, or laughs off a serious question, she's not just being playful, she's protecting something. Pay attention to those moments. You ask a seemingly harmless question, "What was your last relationship like?" And suddenly, her tone shifts. She gives a short answer, or says, "It's complicated," or instantly pivots to another topic. That's not casual, that's defense. Her silence tells you where the pain lives. This is human psychology. People avoid what hurts. They bury it. They distract. They change the subject because staying there feels like reopening a wound. This is why you can learn more from what she doesn't say than what she does. Watch the pattern. What topics make her shut down? What questions make her overcompensate with jokes or sarcasm? Where does she draw the line? Those lines weren't drawn by you, they were drawn by her past. And here's the Stoic move. You don't push. You don't interrogate. You don't guilt her into opening up. You recognize the silence for what it is, a signpost pointing to the chapters she's not ready to share. And by respecting that space, you do something powerful. You make her feel safe. And when a woman feels safe, the walls eventually fall. She'll tell you everything, not because you demanded it, but because you understood her without her having to explain. 4. She will crack under pressure and show you the woman she's been hiding. If you want to see who someone really is, don't watch them when they're comfortable. Watch them when they're under pressure, when everything's good, when you're on a date, when she's dressed up, when the wine is flowing. She's showing you the version she wants you to see. It's curated, it's polished, it's the highlight reel. But when stress hits, that's when the mask slips. This is one of the clearest ways to discover a woman's past. Pressure has a way of pulling old wounds to the surface. Her reactions under stress are shaped by everything she's been through. The betrayals, the heartbreaks, the family dynamics, the unresolved pain she carries quietly. Watch her when plans fall apart. Does she explode, shut down, go cold and distant, or does she stay calm and adapt? Those responses didn't form overnight. They were built by the life she's lived before you. Listen to her when she's frustrated. Does she get defensive easily? Does she project blame onto others, or does she open up and communicate? These patterns often reflect the relationships she's been in, the way she learned to cope, to protect herself, to fight or flee. And here's the part that most men miss. When you see her under pressure, you're not just seeing how she deals with you. You're seeing every ghost from her past show up in real time. The ex who lied, the family that didn't listen, the betrayal she never processed. It all lives there, in those triggered reactions. This doesn't mean you judge her for it. The Stoic approach isn't about criticizing, it's about understanding. When you see her patterns, you don't jump in to fix them. You simply recognize them for what they are, echoes of her past. And when you can stay calm as she cracks, when you can be the steady presence in her chaos, that's when she realizes you're not just another man. You're the man who can see her fully and not flinch. 5. She will repeat the same patterns because her past still owns her. Want to know the easiest way to read her past? Look at her patterns. People don't break their habits, not without deep work. They carry them from one chapter of life to the next, and women are no different. Look at her relationships. Does she always end up with emotionally unavailable men? Does she sabotage good connections? Does she rush into things too quickly or keep one foot out the door? Those aren't random decisions. They're scripts, written by her past and replayed on you. Look at her lifestyle. Does she avoid certain places, conversations, or commitments? That avoidance is telling. It reveals what she's been through, what she's trying not to relive. Look at her self-talk. Does she call herself too much, broken, hard to love? Those words aren't born in the moment. They're echoes of what someone else once told her and what she believed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Her patterns are her past on autopilot. This is why so many men get blindsided. They think they're dealing with her, but in reality, they're dealing with her history, the wounds she hasn't healed, the lessons she hasn't unlearned. And this is where most men make the mistake of trying to save her. They think if they love her enough, if they give her stability, she'll stop repeating those cycles. But that's not your job. You're not there to rescue her. You're there to see her clearly. When you understand her patterns, you stop personalizing them. You realize her trust issues aren't about you. Her overreactions aren't about you. Her emotional distance isn't about you. They're about everything she's been through. And when you can see that without losing yourself in it, you become the one thing she's never had, a man who won't drown in her story. That's when she feels safe enough to write a new one. You don't need to interrogate her. You don't need to dig for details. Her past is in her posture, her words, her silence, her patterns. If you can read them, you'll see the full picture. And once you see it, you can decide, do I accept her as she is, or do I walk away? That's what being a Stoic man is, seeing the truth without losing yourself in it. Now I want to know, which of these signs have you noticed before? Comment below. I see it now.